me and Hayley both, of course, know you from working with Drake. For the people that just know you for working with him, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself, the projects that you've worked on before, and anything that fans would like to know about you?
Sure. Yeah, let's see. I met Drake in 2011, but leading up to that, I had some really nice experiences with different bands. I was on tour for a couple of years with different bands out of Los Angeles. There was a band called Travesty Theory I was on tour with. We were with a guy named Dallas Reeves, and we got to open up for the Roots a good bit. That was fun. I don't know if you guys get the
Yeah.
there in England, but the Roots are definitely a special band.
Cool.
Yeah, and I've also worked with Steve Lyons before, not as a performer, but as a marketing director for his brand. In fact, when I met Drake, I had launched a website, and it's all about the guitar.
Yeah.
So it seemed like a good fit. You know, I always loved guitar. And then going on tour, it seemed like a good opportunity to just play some guitar, as well as just, you know, being part of the technical side of things. So
Yeah.
it was fun. It was
Awesome.
good
Fantastic.
fun. That's it. Yeah.
So has music been something that you've always wanted to do? And who made you want?
I think the first thing that made me want to play guitar was seeing Michael J. Fox in Back to the Future.
Oh, I love that film.
That one scene, yeah, right, when he comes out with that guitar and just blows everybody away, it was
Yeah.
like, oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's definitely what I want to do. And
fantastic.
so that, I'd say that. And then, you know, as far as inspiration, I mean, you know, we have Jimi Hendrix, Jimmy Page, Slash, you know, different sources too. They don't have to be guitar players. I mean,
Yeah,
I think John Coltrane was an influence, although I can't play a lot of the jazz he does, but I like what he's doing. So, you know, just, I guess, a different eclectic group of players.
yeah,
And, you know, I certainly should be citing Steve Vai as well, who's one of my favorite guitar players as well. Citing Steve Vai as well, who's one of my favorite guitar players as well as,
yeah,
not a friend, but, you know.
yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah.
How old were you when you first started playing the guitar?
I got my first guitar when I turned 9,
Wow.
but it was impossible to play. It was like an impossible guitar to
Yeah.
play. It was just impossible. So the next year, my parents, when I turned 10, got me an electric guitar,
Oh, cool.
and that was it. I knew how to disrupt the neighborhood at that point. So
That's awesome.
yeah. And by the time I was 12, I was playing in like little blues bars around
Oh,
Pittsburgh,
wow.
which is where. So, and like those first couple of years, all I did was play guitar to the radio. Whatever was on the radio, I tried to mimic,
Yeah.
and I learned a lot of songs that way. So yeah, it worked out that way.
Oh, fantastic.
If you could meet 3 people, past or present, who would they be?
Ooh, if I can meet them. I think I'd like to have a lunch with Jimi Hendrix. He's
That's
one of my
awesome.
favorites.
Oh, fantastic.
He's one of my favorites for sure, and there's just something so magical about his music and his mystique and the way he plays. I'd just like to get to know him for a minute. 2 other ones, you know, who I would like to maybe meet up with. I've always really liked Larry David. I think he's the funniest comedian in the world, and you know, he was a co-writer on Seinfeld. He
Oh, yeah.
founded that show. And he's got all these funny shows and whatever with Curb Your Enthusiasm. I actually met him once, so
Oh, wow.
technically it was a meeting, but I'd like to meet him again. And then third person, I guess I've always been intrigued by Steve Jobs. I mean, he had a vision. He was able to change the face of technology as well as culture with his ideas. So, you know, when we talk about, you know, things outside of the guitar, you know, he played a really big role in how we download music and how we absorb content and how we interact with our friends. For goodness sakes, if I wasn't on a MacBook Air right now, I guess I'd be on a desktop PC and I wouldn't be half as free as I am now. So.
Oh, I want to get a iPad. That's what I want.
Oh, they're fantastic. You never use your computer again.
I know I won't.
I've
I
got
hardly-
I got an iPad,
Yeah.
and I just, you know, this is the first time for months I've used my laptop. So
Well, exactly.
yeah,
Sometimes I fall asleep.
My
Sometimes I fall
laptop.
asleep, and the iPad is like stuck to my face. when
yeah.
I'm
Me
I'm
too.
like, oh, what is this?
What was your goal and dream when you were in your teens?
Oh, yeah, that was to take over the world with my guitar.
Sweet.
Very
I
simple
think I
stuff.
think you're on. I think you're on the right route.
Yes.
Well, sometimes I move at turtle pace. I really believe I'm kind of like a slow molasses, but you know, when the right opportunity presents itself, I know that it's important to do a good job. So, you know, for example, if you had told 15-year-old me that one day I'd be working with Steve Vai, and I even opened up a show for him after winning this contest a couple months ago,
Oh, wow.
and then also performing with Drake and playing gigs like the Rose Bowl and appearing on the Good Morning New York and all that fun stuff that we do,
And
and
Brian
playing
Setzer.
with Brian Setzer.
Yay!
One of my heroes,
Yeah, I know, I was just saying
definitely.
that. So all of those things are definitely, yeah, they're still back. They never, it never goes away. If you have a vision of something that you're excited about, it stays with you your whole life, and then you get all these opportunities to try to make them come true. I think it's one of the most fun parts and challenging parts probably of being more or less an adult, even though I'm probably not the average adult. I'm, you know, trying on it. So, um, yeah,
Well-
it's fun.
well-
I've,
Really a lot
I've,
of fun.
I've always say, dreams always come true if you're patient. And I've already had one dream come true. So I'm just
Good.
waiting for it again.
Well, I can say, you know, I like a lot of been playing the guitar and everything. I love a lot of guitarists, but you're definitely up there with my top 3. And number 1 being
goodness.
Brian. So,
Well,
yeah.
that's a good number one.
Yeah,
Now I have
yeah.
to start working. You have knowing that.
No, you're definitely up in my top 3, definitely. It's just, you're amazing to watch. I can watch your videos, I just watch over and over again, and that's, you know, that's the truth. So, if I could be, like, have your little finger full of your, you know, of my talent, that I would be happy with that, because I just think you're incredible.
Well, you know how Van Gogh cut off his ear and mailed it?
Yeah.
So maybe I could, you know, lose a finger or two and send it. But you
Yeah,
have
cut
to
off
send it
the-
back.
Please don't make it be your left hand, because otherwise you wouldn't be able to do the chords.
it's alone. Yeah.
Have you got
That's
any
funny.
advice on for anyone that's just started playing the guitar, or for the experienced player on getting good at solos for the guitar? For instance,
Yeah.
are there any specific scales or modes that you often use?
So this actually has 3 parts to it. One is I'm just going to go ahead and say it. YouTube is a great teacher.
Yeah.
You know, that website has more guitar lessons on it than anything that I grew up with.
Yeah,
You know, you can just say, I want to learn how to play any song. You could say, I want to learn how to play Spanish Castle Magic by Jimi
yeah,
Hendrix, and you type it in, and boom, you see someone who has a great camera setup, and they're slowly explaining how to do it, and that's really nice. So I think that's a great teaching tool.
yeah,
The second part of the question is really kind of what you do on your own outside of a lesson. So even if you're not taking private lessons, as long as you have maybe like a YouTube type thing, you can really get a lot understood. But with, if you're taking, you know, on your own, if you play guitar every day and you play maybe with the radio or you play with whatever's on TV, I mean, you could play commercial jingles. Like,
yeah,
you know, there's always a music in almost every commercial or every television show. There's music. And if you hear like a little thing, it's like, oh, I wonder how to play that. And you just like fish around until you find the right note.
yeah,
The cool thing about the guitar and any Western instrument is that it's 1 of 12. You know, you've got 1 of 12 or 1 of 11 chances of being right. So
Yeah.
like, you know, something in the key of F and you start off in E, you know, you'll figure it out. You'll just move to the F. Or, you know,
Yeah.
if it's in the key of B flat and you start off on F, you just move up 6 frets eventually. You'll find the right note. So it's, you know, that part is the like self-discovery part.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I figured out how to do that without anybody's help. And I think that is more encouraging than like taking the lessons all the time. You
Yeah.
know? So, and then the third thing is just, I don't know, it's like, if you do it consistently and you have a fun time doing it, like, you become really obsessed with it, and then you can't do anything else. Because, like, it became really clear to me when I was younger, like, I didn't want to really do sports, I didn't really want to do, you know, various activities. I had no interest to be on the debate team. All
Yeah.
I wanted to do was play guitar, and, you know, eventually people knew in my school that I played guitar,
Yeah.
and, you know, they would come to me for guitar-related stuff, and, you know, I was like that my whole life, you know, so I would say for an aspiring musician, you know, learning from whatever you have near you is probably very important.
Cool.
But just all that time you spend with the thing alone by yourself, that's even more important.
Yeah. Fantastic. Is there one country that you would like to visit, and which would it be and why?
You know, this is going to sound really funny because I've been all over the world, but the one place I haven't been, I have not been to the UK.
Oh, well, we definitely want you here.
Yeah, we definitely want you here. Definitely.
Yes, please come
You
soon.
know, I'm prepared to deal with, I'm prepared to deal with the London fog. That's okay. I can hang with that. But yeah, I mean, my perception of it is probably, I don't even know. I don't even know what I'd be in for. So
Yeah.
that would be really fun. But I know there's a lot of rich culture and history there. So I'd really like to see.
Yeah, there's lots
Yeah.
to...
Do you have any pets? And if so, what are their names and how many?
I have one, well, okay, let me say this. I was taking care of this little tiny cat. Her name was Lila.
Lila. Yay.
She's the sweetest kitten in the world. I mean, she could be a little fierce at times. You know, she used to try to run away, and I was like, okay, fine, run away.
No.
But I'd leave the door open when she wanted back, and she always did.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, some of my friends were watching her when I think I was on a tour, and they told me that a coyote
Oh no.
had a
Oh no.
Lila is not. She's up there, but not here.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, but she's very sweet. And then my parents have this little dog named Nikki, or I'm sorry, Ellie. I don't know the pet's name. It's like a little tiny. It's the size of a MacBook Air. It's like the smallest dog
Oh,
you've ever seen. It's a tiny toy poodle.
Is it a chihuahua?
It's like a Chihuahua. I think it's a toy poodle. It's very small.
oh,
Oh, that's
But it
so
really likes me, and every time it sees me, it just like it wants to lick me everywhere. I'm like,
Oh.
okay. Yeah.
That's cute.
Yeah.
If someone told you you could meet the one living person that would rather render you speechless, who would it be?
Render me speechless. I think it would be someone a little bit more dialed into where we're headed. So I think in that case, I would like to meet up with one of the two, probably Sergey Brin from Google. I have a lot of respect for that company, and I know they're a massive company responsible for all these different products, and there's a lot of things like security concern and all the data that they're collecting. But here's a person who had an idea when they were in college that was like, oh, I think I'm going to start a company. Here's what it's going to do, and look how they've grown. It's in crazy kind of growth. And to me, I'm kind of rendered speechless by someone having a thought and then acting on it, making it a reality. And now, they employ probably 300,000 people, and they have products that everybody uses, or almost everybody uses, and it's all over the world. So it's like this one little nugget of an idea got carried into a reality that affects everybody else. So I just like the idea of meeting someone who was able to get that done.
Yeah.
And,
definitely.
interact with them. It's fun.
This question was sent in by someone that knows you. I'm not sure if I'm saying it rightly, but what is a fat emporer?
Oh, God. I know exactly who asked that question. That would be my sister.
Yeah. What is one?
Well, I believe she's referring to the Fat Emperor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we were growing up, my sister and I, we grew up together, and it was about 2.5 years age gap between us. I'm 2.5 years older than she is. And I used to make her into like my little kitchen slave. So I'd be sitting on the couch and I'd kind of snap my fingers and be like, I'd like more cheese. And she'd go get it, and I'd be like, no, not that kind of cheese. And then she would go back to the kitchen, and I'd be like, no, not even that kind of cheese. So she started calling me the Fat Emperor because she was always waiting on me hand and foot with my, eating requests. And really, she was such a trooper because
Oh, bless her.
I would use the power of being the older sibling all the time. But that was probably the height of it. Not moving and just waiting till food came to deliver me.